In this video, I'm doing a position analysis from the Oasis 2024 Backgammon Tournament. One of the best ways to learn is studying positions. If you don't understand the position, you go back and put it in XG and do a variety of different things, and I'll show you some of the tricks, the tools that you can use on XG, such as dice distribution and other things, and modifying the position. And that's a really good way to learn. Thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoy this video. Please like and subscribe, and you'll be notified every time I upload a new video. Let me know what you think in the comments below, what you'd like to see in future videos, and I'll work on that. With the membership feature, you can get exclusive access to the most popular videos. My book, Backgammon, Backgame Strategies, is available. There's a link in the description to where you can get it. And if you're interested in lessons, please contact me via email. My email address is also in the description. Again, in this video, I'm doing a position analysis from the 2024 Oasis Backgammon Tournament in Dubai by Mind Skills. This is an outstanding tournament run by my good friend Patrick Jabali. He had a great turnout this year. I watched all the streaming. It's just fantastic. I highly recommend it. So this is the position. This is from the finals of the Masters division between Frank Frigo, two-time world champion from the United States, and Adrian Baltariu from Romania. They're playing on a beautiful Mind Skills board. This is a special board that they use. Has a black surface with red and white points and red and white checkers. The XG board is made by Rain. He makes beautiful XG boards. There's a link in the description to where you can get it. Frank is playing the red checkers at the bottom, Adrian, the white checkers at the top. This is the second game of an 11-point match. So Frank is leading 1-0 or 10 away, 11 away. The cube is in the center, and Frank has a 3-1 to play. So take a look at the position, pause the video if you like, think about how you would play a 3-1, and we'll look at the analysis in a moment. So in this position, with a 3-1, it's very natural to make the 5-point. Anytime you can make the 5-point early in the game with a 3-1, you should highly consider it. However, if we look at the analysis, it turns out that that's actually a blunder to make the 5-point. It's better to anchor and slot the 5-point. So like this, moving the back checker 24-21, making that anchor, and slotting the 5-point with 6-5, and that results in this position. Making the 5-point does create a 2-point board like this, and it results in this position. However, it's a blunder, and we'll take a look at why. So you want to look at the entire position and analyze the strengths and weaknesses of both players. So here's the position. You see, white has a 2-point board, and red only has a 1-point board. However, red can make a 2-point board by making the 5-point. You'll notice that 6s are blocked from white's checker on the 24-point, as well as white's checker on the 23-point. Also, you see these stripped points in the outfield, especially the midpoint. So 6s are going to play awkwardly. They're going to leave a shot. One of the things that's important to understand is the midpoint is a landing space for the back checkers. And that's what you really want to do. You want to bring your back checkers home. And once you break the midpoint, it's going to be really hard to bring the back checkers home. And when you strip them, it becomes increasingly urgent to get things moving from the back. Michihito Kageyama did a seminar one time talking about gravity. When your midpoint gets stripped to 2 checkers or reduced to 3 checkers, you really want to make sure you get your back checkers moving. Also, you'll notice that white has 2 checkers back. So this is what it looks like after the top play. So notice the features here. First of all, you have an anchor. That's really important. especially because it's on the 4 point and it's in front of the 3 point. So white having her 3 point is not as strong. It's a little devalued because the anchor is ahead of it. Now you're not really doing anything with those two checkers on the 3 point as white. Also, importantly, you'll see sixes are blocked still from both the 24 point and the 23 point here. And there's only one blot, albeit there is a double shot, but you did unstack the 6 point. Now, and that's what it looks like. Here, once you make the 5 point, first of all, you have no anchor. The sixes that were bad before now are really good. Sixes along with 5-1, 4-2 works on both sides, and 5-5-2 and 4-3 also hit with sevens. And there are 3 blots. When you have multiple blots, you can get more than one blot hit. So you have to be careful of that. This is the dice distribution analysis. For those that are not familiar with it, the panel on the upper left is the equity heat map after play A, the top play. This is making the 24-point anchor and slotting the 5-point. So this shows your resultant equity after each of the opponent's rolls. Double 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, and so forth, and an average column on the right. The panel on the upper right is the same thing for play B, which in this case is making the 5-point. These two are on a color scale from blue to red. Blue is the highest, red is the lowest. The darker the blue, the better. The darker the red, the worse. You see there's more blue on the left and there's more red on the right. The panel on the lower left is an equity difference heat map. So it takes the equity value from a given cell in play B and subtracts that from the equity value in the corresponding cell in play A to give you the swing roll. So in the panel on the lower left, you see blue favors play A, red favors play B. There's a lot more blue, especially dark blue. So you can see like these sixes that we discussed are really strong, and the fives as well. And the panel on the lower right basically plots this on a vertical bar graph. So you see the big swings are 6-5, 6-2, 5-1, 5-2, 6-1, double six. These are all the rolls that hit that back checker. And let's see how they play. So these are how the two rolls play. So this is after play A of slotting the 5-point. If the opponent rolls a 6-5, he has to break the 11-point. Whereas in play B, it hits twice. 6-2 similarly hits twice. 5-1 hits, 5-2 and 6-1 hit, whereas they don't after the top play. So these are big positive swings. So let's take a look at it. So this is after the top play. Now white rolls a 6-5. It's played like this, resulting in this position. If you make the 5-point, the 6-5 is played like this, and that hits two checkers, putting 2 on the bar, partially escaping a checker. So that's a big swing. You have to think about these swings. After the top play, if white rolls a 6-2, just has to run from the back, resulting in this position. However, if you make the 5-point, now the 6-2 hits twice. So there are a lot of double hitting numbers. That's what you want to think about. When you leave too many blots, there is the potential for double hit. So you really have to be careful of that. Here, after the top play, if white rolls a 5-1, slots the 5-point, resulting in this position. But if you make the 5-point, now that 5-1 is great. Okay. And what about 5-2 after the top play? It's awkward. It leaves a shot here. And fours are good here, whereas they're not good over here and they're not good over here. So your numbers are diversified. However, if you make the 5-point now, the 5-2 hits here, like this. The next thing you want to do is position modification. This is a great way to identify strengths and weaknesses of a position. What you do is you modify one aspect of a position to see what changes it makes in the equity of the position. So let's take a look. Here is a modified position where I've taken the checker from the 6-point and moved it to the 8-point. Now the spare is on the 8-point. You see making the 5-point is right by a lot, like this, resulting in this position. Now you still have this 6 blocked. You see, one of the things you'll learn is that the spare that you start with on the 8-point is valuable. Once you use it, in this case, it was used to make the bar point with a 6-1. You're gonna have to break it, and that's losing an asset. But once you have, when you have a spare here, that's actually good because now the 6s are blocked. You have a nice solid 4 prime. You only leave 2 blots. Here, when both back checkers are on the 24, the 6s are blocked anyway after making the 5-point. So it's still not the top play. However, it's much closer. So you see that the fact that the 6s are blocked is really big here. So these are the tips for this position. The midpoint is a safe landing spot for the back checkers. When the midpoint is stripped, it becomes harder to extricate the back checkers. So here you saw if the opponent's midpoint is stripped with one or more checkers back, blocking the back checker or checkers can be effective, as was the case here. Also, with any position, you want to look at the entire position. Look at the strengths, look at the weaknesses, and think about how all the roles play. That's how the dice distribution becomes valuable. People ask me, oh, why do you use this dice distribution? Because you don't have access to it when you're playing. Of course, you do not have access to it when you're playing. But when you start analyzing positions, using the dice distribution, you'll learn this and you'll start thinking this way, and you'll be able to do it in your head even when it's not available when you're playing a match. So in this position, 6s play poorly when you own the 7 and 8 points because the opponent's midpoint and 11 are stripped. So 6s play awkward. Okay, so that's what you want to think about, and that's what you'll learn when you do the dice distribution. You saw how all those 6s were blue for the top play. The other thing is you want to avoid leaving too many blots. Not only does breaking the 8-point leave 6s that are good, but it leaves hitting numbers that hit twice, like the 6-5 and the 6-2 that would have been awkward otherwise. The other thing you can do if you don't understand the position is modify the position to identify the important features. So you saw when I moved the spare from the 6-point to the 8-point, that made a big difference. When you move both checkers back to the 24-point, now breaking the 8-point, you still block 6s. So there it becomes much closer. So those are the kinds of things that you want to do. Again, this was a position analysis from the 2024 Oasis Backgammon Tournament by Mind Skills, run by my good friend Patrick Jabali in Dubai every year. This is a fantastic tournament. I highly recommend it. They do outstanding streaming with Bill and Tara from Ace Point Backgammon, Arda Findikoglu, an outstanding tournament and a tournament director, and many more on the staff. Thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe, and you'll be notified every time I upload a new video. Let me know what you think in the comments below, what you'd like to see in future videos, and I'll work on that. With the membership feature, you can get exclusive access to the most popular videos. Again, my book, Backgammon, Backgame Strategies, is available. There's a link in the description to where you can get it. And if you're interested in lessons, please contact me via email. My email address is also in the description. I look forward to seeing you in future videos. And until then, keep rolling your dice.